Okay, so this brings us to the end of the 13th century motet, and we are left with two main styles of composition, the Petronian and the Franconian. Petronian motets are characterized by a quick, speech-like triplum, a slower motetus, and a Gregorian tenor in a strict rhythmic pattern. Franconian motets are characterized by all voices being written in nearly equal rhythm. Both these kinds of motets were quite popular, and composers wanted to bring in greater diversities to their compositions, but at the same time they wanted to start homogenizing the rhythmic texture, so trying to find a way to make their parts more distinctive, but at the same time blend them together, more similar to the form of polyphony that we have today. Uh, in the 13th century, these ideas still remained very separate. There were two very distinct camps of composition. Some composers would write both Petronian motets and Franconian motets, but never a combination of the two. So, in conclusion, the simple motet grew from a discant clausula with words to its own form of composition in a very short time. It exploded across all circles of life in the 13th century, being used for church services, ceremonies, dances, and just for enjoyment. Even after the 13th century, the motet continued to evolve and progress despite other new forms of composition surfacing. Composers in the 16th and 17th century were still writing motets. Even some of the most famous motets from the 16th and 17th centuries were written by Palestrina and Bach. They were admittedly a more harmonically advanced and rhythmically different motet, so it isn't the same exact form, but they were still universally loved by the public. Many historians say that the motet of the 13th century was one of the most revolutionary developments of the Middle Ages, and I believe this is true. Motets set the stage for modern polyphony as we know it today, and we owe a great deal to those composers who were so innovative. Alright, that concludes my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to put some extra videos for listening examples at the end of this playlist, ones that I found that were interesting or cool, and you may listen to them if you'd like, but I believe I am out of time. So, thank you for listening to me, and I hope you enjoyed.